Yeah, I still think it has fuel in the engine here. I mean, ultimately, I think we could be looking at a seven handle as we go into next week. And I think fundamentally, you take a step back, this is really a defining chapter in the Tesla success story, especially in the profitability focus. That continues to be, I think, the major differentiator for Musk, especially with Teflon-like demand that you're seeing on the EV side.
This was Dan Ives Friday morning as the market responded to Tesla moving to the S&P 500 this coming Monday. The stock shot to $695, and he's basically explaining what is this real story of Tesla, why is the trajectory for Tesla stock is not only to reach 700, which it almost did, but to continue to go all the way to $1,000. Let's see what else he says.
So, just on what sort of numbers basis would you get to your $700 price?
Well, I think 700 is just near term. Ultimately, bull case is still $1,000. And I think it really comes down here. It's only right now 3% of demand is EV. I think that goes to 6% by year end. You could be looking, as you look out in the next 4 or 5 years, $10, $15 of earnings power. That's the key, because you're seeing the demand as well as you're seeing the profitability. And I think investors right now continue to view Tesla as the core way to play EV. I view this as a $1 trillion market the next decade. And that's why I think they continue to grow into their valuation, $1,000 bull case, as they execute. And I think we'll see that again over the coming weeks with Q4 deliveries.
And so let me show you something, give you an analogy. Here's my iPhone. So 10, 15 years ago, when there were no smartphone coming out, and the first iPhone 1 came out, and the Apple stock shot up in 10, 15, 20, 30 multiples. It wasn't about how many iPhones they sold. It's about how many iPhones they will sell, and we all know that the rest is history. So even though the EV market is 3%, we're talking about the next 10, 15 years, 6, 10, 20, 30, 50, and eventually 100%. Now, who is prime to be there when the EV market is going to be taking over and replacing the ICE cars? Obviously, Tesla is prime candidate, because that's the only thing that they do. But there is much more into that. Watch this.
An argument that it's an auto company and it's gonna make those numbers as an auto company, or it's gonna make those numbers as an auto company plus something else.
Yeah, great point. And that's why I've never viewed it as an auto company. I view it as a disruptive technology name in terms of that's the multiple I think it deserves. And you're starting to see that more across EV because of what they're doing. I mean, they've built out the industry in terms of EV. And right now, we're still seeing the early days of demand, not just in the U.S., but especially in China, which continues to be the hearts and lungs of the Tesla bull story.
Okay, so that's the point. That is the point. It's Ford and Fiat and GM that the only thing that they make. That's the only thing they make. They make cars. Tesla makes car, but Tesla makes so much more. It's the insurance. It's the autonomy. Okay, it's the platform. All right, it is the software updates. It's the solar. It's the battery storage. It's more than anybody else. So that's where the future of Tesla and the future of Tesla stock is. And being included in the S&P 500 next week is very exciting. And I'm glad I'm part of it, and I'm glad I never sold one share. So that's what I do. I don't suggest to tell you what to do, but this is why. It's what they're going to be and what they're becoming. I'm confident that they will reach the 500,000 sales this year, but that's not the story. Again, to my cell phone analogy, I rarely make phone calls on this cell phone, even though it's called cell phone. It's everything else that we make on it than what it is actually called. So it's much, much, much more than just a device that you can make phone calls from. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. See you tomorrow.